What's up? This is Vanessa with Moments of Clarity podcast. We got Young M.A, we got Rahman, we got Shaheem. Here we are. This is Young M.A's second time ever using Zoom, so hopefully it'll go smoothly. She likes it though. I know. She just told me.
I had to slide over. I just realized I had to slide over to get the 4 squares.
We love Young M.A.
You're learning, you know. We do love Young.
I'm learning. Yeah, what's good? How y'all doing?
Good. We love Young. Look, let me tell you, we love what you're doing. We love what you've been doing. You've been really holding it down from New York. Like me and my brother Shy, we New York niggas. Like I can't offend Vanessa and call her a nigga, but even though she is, you know, she like Woody Harrelson from White Man Can't Jump. But
yeah.
we really appreciate you because you helping usher in like a new movement. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's really dope for what you're doing, and you got all our support for real.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys all the time. Y'all always show love, man.
So tell us about the EP. Tell us about the EP.
The EP, man, dropping Friday, man. It was quick. It wasn't nothing that was already planned. It was like a spontaneous project, something I needed to feed the streets with. I got it done in a matter of less than 2 weeks. And it was just something I'm like, during this quarantine, man, I gotta drop something. You know, that's why I called it Red Flu. You know, it just goes off the whole situation that's going on right now during this pandemic. And the EP is 7 songs on it. And this project, it was just more so, it was just like, you know, just a couple things I've just been going through. Nothing like crazy bad, but just, you know, just a lot of frustrations, just getting everything out. This project is more so like, it's more thorough, it's more savage than the actual album, the album that dropped last September. This EP is more so like the old M.A mixtape type vibes, just talking that shit, no filter. And we just going in, man, just something to feed the streets with. And I definitely enjoyed this EP in a matter of the time I did it in. And shout out to all the production, Mike Zombie, Benjamin, New York Bangers. And we 7 songs in, and that's what we doing.
Word. Yo, before we get to the EP, I got a bone to pick with you, M.A. I saw you got the July 4th festivities going down. Like, it's a big pool party. Everybody coming. It says no guys, man. I had my Jordans ready and everything.
Nice. See, now I got to speak on that because, first of all, I never said no guys.
Never said no guys? So
I never said that. So let me holler at you for that. First of all, this is the 3rd year in a row we threw this pool party.
Yes.
So this would be Petty Wap Part 3. For those that don't know, Petty Wap, the first original one is originally gold now. That was actually an original record that started back in 2018, and I made it an annual thing because when I first did it, it was I shot it at my crib with a pool party, and it was invite only. Every single one was invite only. It's not just open to the public. And when I do these pool parties, yes, there's majority women. There's 90% women, 10% fellas, which is mostly my guys or anybody I'm affiliated with or I know. But like when I do pool parties, I don't really like too much guys because first of all, I don't like guys. Secondly, just women in general is just the life of the party. A lot of dudes come to certain situations to beef and do little dumb shit. And I'm not into that. When I do these pool parties, it's all for fun. And all the women that come is not about how they look. Like every pool party, this is the 3rd year, but for the past 2 ones that passed, every woman that comes is always just like out there. Like they don't care how they look. They don't care about their makeup. They jumping in the pool. They enjoying themselves. They drinking. It's not about
this is my kind of party. Where's my invite?
I know she's speaking the gospel right now, man. M.A speaking.
Y'all sleeping. Y'all must be asleep because
I seen it. I seen them. I just seen
I'll post.
I know. That's why I was like, I gotta come and see what it is, man. But I do agree with everything you saying about the guys and all of that. I can't be mad at it. You talking nothing but the gospel.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it ain't nothing against the guys, but we keep it at at least an 85-90% minimum of women because it's just the women is more of the attraction. Guys come, like a lot of parties, it be mostly guys than women, and we don't want that because guys always come for the women, and women come just to see the vibes. You know what I mean? So like We do the pool parties where it's mostly women, and you got to be a baddie, you got to be authority. That's what we do. And a lot of people sleep. They know M.A bring them out. I bring them out. There's no cap in it. You seen the videos?
I seen the live shows. I've been to the concerts and I seen.
Been to the concerts, man.
She got, you know, we ain't gonna get too much into R. Kelly, but he used to bring some of the great adult women out, and I think M.A.
Yeah, you gotta understand that. Fact.
He got a lot of just nice exotic women, around the way women, just, you know, the following is super.
All sizes, all baddies. To me, I don't pick and choose who. You know what I mean? Like, of course I pick and choose. Like, you gotta be bad, but it's like far as size and complexion and race, I don't choose on that. It's like you could be any race, you could be any size, long as you gotta be a
What
baddie.
makes a chick bad
What's the
to you?
mentality? What's the mentality of a baddie to you?
What makes a chick bad to you?
I just gotta like it. That's it.
Gotta be a vibe.
It gotta be a vibe. It gotta be a vibe. I gotta like your vibe, man.
But you know what though? She right though, because you go to these fucking shows and we know it. There be more niggas who's the groupies, more than the women. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many times we done been there? A fucking a door open with the artist, and there's more niggas trying to run up in there than the women.
Mm-hmm.
That shit is crazy.
They try to knock women out to get in front. It's
They
weird.
knocking the women over.
Yeah, all the time. It's regular. That's so normal. I done experienced that every show. You know what I mean? Like, guys will be with their girlfriend and be like, yo, tell their girlfriend, take a picture with me and May before the girl take the picture with me. Like, it's so normal. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm not against it, because at the end of the day, I understand, like, I appreciate the support. I'm not against it. But certain things, boss, like, if you're a fan, your woman always got to come first, no matter what the situation is. If she a fan, let her take the picture first. Boss, you take the picture first, and then you come in and say, all right, I'll rock on with her. Even if you're a big fan, but just, play it off a little bit. A lot of these guys don't do that. I'm not against it, but I understand it in a way. But at the same time, it's like certain standards and respect you have to have for your woman. And like with these pool parties we do, we just want majority women, because women just come to have fun. Guys come to mug other dudes instead of paying attention to the women. Right. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird in a way. You know what I mean? And I'm just not for that. I don't got drama on my side. I don't do all that. Anything I do, I want it to be a good time. I want to benefit from it and make sure it's right. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. I like that. I had a chance to interview you. This was maybe like 2017 or even 2016 when Ooh came out. We was at South by Southwest, the Revolt House. You tore it down. You was brand new in the game at the time. Mm-hmm. You showed so much staying power though. 4 years, that's a lifetime in hip hop, because a lot of artists, they have a nice hot year or a nice hot 6 months and they fall to the wayside. But anybody who's been able to, shake off the one hit wonder thing, you've been able to shake off the one hit project thing, do it independently and still have just such a big following. Like, how do you feel when you just reflect on how your career's been going?
Man, I've been studying this game since I was a kid, man. You know what I mean? It's something I always wanted to do. When I finally got into it, I didn't understand it, more so just being like a student of the game and paying attention to everything. And then once you're in it, it's a little different. There's a lot of things you don't expect. So I did have a year where I was kind of like, I was a little off. You know what I mean? I was up and down. I was trying to figure things out. And when I finally got it together, it was movement for me. It was able for me to just keep going forward. And once I understood that, I knew how to play it. You know what I mean? And I stayed independent in the process. And I just knew how much that being independent benefited me as an artist, just me being who I am in itself, because there's no one like me. I'm literally in my own lane. And I know who I am, and I know what I need to do. And I knew I built a fan base first and foremost before anything. And to me, that's key. Just having a solid fan base and people that just support you no matter what. Even if anybody is talking what they talking, you still got people that just like, they ain't trying to hear that. They rock with me. They here to support whatever I do. So that's what's my main focus, is to focus on them and kind of like block out everybody else that just really had an opinion on anything. One of those more so like bandwagon fans, surface fans that just rock with people because they got a hot record or whatever the case. I had to eliminate that mind state and go back into why I did this in the first place. And once I got that zone back, it was more so easy to maneuver. So literally just having a solid fan base to me is key. You know what I mean? And just putting out music for them and doing what I do, and just having people that just ready, like, yo, we waited for you. We here to support you, and that's what it is. And I just appreciate just everything that just came about in the process of these few years. And I'm just gonna keep going. Ain't nothing gonna stop me. Like that's in me. This music is in me. This is my first love. I've been doing this since I was 10 years old. You know what I mean? I done studied everything, so I know what's right and what's not right. And that's just how I maneuver.
I think that shit is dope. That you at a point where you still like really early in your career. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're still really in the infancy stages of your career, and it's like niggas only really start thinking about a lot of the stuff that what you was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Like a little bit later, they like 5, 6, 7 albums deep or stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Where they really like been through a lot of stuff. So the fact that you got this mentality, you got your head on your shoulders like that. You know what I'm saying? Like young, like that's crazy. Was that something that was a conclusion that you had came through on your own, or is it like you and your peoples, or like how did you come to this point where you was thinking about some of that stuff you was just kicking?
I definitely live in my head, man. I'm definitely that type of person. I'm very wise. I'm really ahead of my time. A lot of people tell me that like I'm literally like an old soul. So I study a lot. I'm a observant person. I pay attention to a lot of things, and I see what certain lanes to go in and what not to go in. You know what I mean? I don't put no drama on my name. I don't do the whole social media drama. Anything I do, I protect my brand at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm a person that has personality, so that's why I have such a fan base, because they know me for me as a person besides my music, and they also know me as my music. They know how to separate the two. You know what I mean? It's not like it's drama on my name, and that's the only reason why people pay attention to me. You know what I mean? Or this, that, and the case. Like, my music speaks for itself, and then when I have my personality days, I have my personality days. But I know how to separate the two, and that's something I've been doing all my life. I never allowed nothing that didn't result in music to overpower me as a brand and as an artist. You know what I mean? So that's just something I protected as the years went on, because I know some things can be not in your control, depending on what positions you put yourself in. So I try to eliminate that. You know what I mean? Eliminate certain things I'm around, or certain things that can get me in trouble. I stay low key. I'm real humble. You know what I mean? I don't have to be loud to be heard. You know what I'm saying? And that's just me. That's always been me since I was a kid. Like, I always even told like people I grew up with, friends and stuff like that, like, bro, you don't gotta do this, you don't gotta do that. And just try to feed and school people on certain things they need to do, and have them understand like this ain't always the way. You can do it this way too. It may be a little slower, but it's worth it at the same time. So that's why.
Is there anything that you did wrong or that you messed up at, that you switched, or that you realized, hey, I went in doing this the wrong way or the wrong route, and then you had to correct or fix to get it right for yourself?
I would say now I learned to be more consistent with just putting out music and putting out projects. Before, it was more so like a stage of just stepping back and reflecting and making sure I'm taking the right route. Even though I still do that, but like this time, now that I have an understanding, I don't regret it because it taught me a lot. But at the same time, like now, the person I am now, the artist I am now, that stage at one point in my past taught me to be a little more consistent. You know what I mean? But I know that everything happens for a reason, so I don't regret nothing I ever did in my career or just as a human being in itself, because everything happens for a reason. So I'm just, I'm not against it. It is what it is. And at the same time, I know the type of person I am. I'm going to always chase. I don't believe in no setbacks. I don't believe in going backwards. I'm going to do whatever I got to do to move forward. Even if it ain't just music, it could be anything. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. And people see the authenticity in me, and they understand that. You know what I mean? So that's just more so what it is. It's like I don't really try to think too much into nothing, because when you think too much, you start to second guess a lot of things. It's more so just go with your intuition and just move forward.
Is there somebody in the industry or people in the industry that kind of give you advice? You know, some of the older guys or anybody that you could turn to?
I
Nah,
saw you at one of those
I give
people's
myself
parties,
advice.
though. I saw you at a party of somebody I know you have a good relationship with.
Who?
At the 50 holiday party, you two have a good
Oh yeah,
relationship.
50. Oh, that's one of the reasons why I rap today, because of 50 Cent. That was one of my inspirations, just to be around that guy, man. He's a cool dude, man. A lot of people misunderstand him, but I understand him because I was a big fan of him. He's just that guy, man. He's cool as hell. He knows who's authentic and he knows who's not. And that's what I rock with him. You know what I mean? I remember one day we was in the strip club and he tried to bring me mad singles.
I was
And
there,
I'm
and then
like,
he threw the money at you, and you dodged so that you wouldn't catch the money. He threw the
nah,
stack.
he tried to hand me a stack of money to throw at the strippers. And I'm like, nah, you're not about to give me what this owe you. But I know 50, he to me, he wasn't on that type of time. He wasn't on that, like,
No, he
if I
just
give
wanted you
you
to
a
have a good
homie.
time. And
He
you
wanted me to have a good
partaking.
time.
Yeah.
But I'm just the type of person in general, I would never even take money from no next man or anybody to, that's just not my
trying to
style.
shove money on her to throw around the strip club. She would not take it. She was hiding
Yeah.
out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a dub. I don't, that's not my style. I don't take bottles from nobody that's another artist that's coming in and be like, yo, here, take this bottle. That's just me. Like, my integrity is so strong. I don't believe in it. I can get my own bottles. I can get my own money. If I choose not to do that, it's because I choose not to do it, not because I ain't got it or this, that, and the third. I just don't choose not to do it. You know what I mean? If I want to throw, you would see me with it.
Right? Did you take the big bottle?
He did give me his champagne, yes, to promote. Yes, I got that at the crib now.
The huge bottle. Yeah.
Yeah. I got that at the crib now. He said, yo, you don't owe me for nothing for that. You know what I mean? It's all love with 50. 50 is like a big inspiration, man. It's almost like a father of hip hop to me. And I appreciate him. He even compared me to his moms. To me, that's like the most solidified thing somebody can do, certified thing you can do, just to compare me to your moms is just appreciation. Definitely to somebody I grew up with. I mean, I grew up on and understood his music and listened to his music, and it just inspired me as an artist in itself. So, like, I just got a lot of respect for that man. I appreciate him and everything he done for me, even without him trying to do. You know what I mean?
One of the things, you know, speaking of Fifth, one of the things that I'm kind of intrigued, I'm also enjoying, is that they bringing back the talk about King of New York. I feel like
just gonna ask about it. Go ahead, Shai.
Yeah. Now, I just feel like for a while, you know, when we was coming up in the game, and there was always a King of New York, whether when we was young kids and it was Kane or Cool J or Rakim going for the crowd, going for the crown. And then obviously everybody know about Jay and Nas battling for that crown of King of New York. Also hip hop. Biggie really popularized it, you know, giving it an actual name when he started speaking to Frank White. And, you know, of course, 50 at a certain point, Fifth, he took that crown, and, you know, he was rocking that crown like Brock Lesnar rocked the wrestling heavyweight belt. You know, he was the beating everybody up. But, you know, after a while, the talk of King of New York kind of died out, and I'm like, yo, we got so many dope New York artists. Nobody is talking about that. But as of recent, you know, 6ix9ine is home. He instantly proclaimed himself the king. Little T, they just proclaimed himself the king. How do you feel about the whole King of New York battle? And can you proclaim yourself as the king of NYC?
I'm the king and queen.
Good answer.
That's why
I like that.
You got the cheat code. You got the cheat code right there.
Hello, I'm queen with a K, Kween. You see, it's right here. It's right here on my legs. Queen. That's me. It's right here on my face. Right here. I'm the queen with a K, man. I'm the king and queen. You know what I'm saying? I'm not against nobody who want that self-claim. You know what I mean? Like, everybody should feel like they're a king or a queen at the end of the day. You know what I mean? That's just self-pride in yourself. That's just self-confidence. I respect that. I don't respect nobody. Nobody should feel like they under somebody. You understand? You can send your respects to people and say, yo, I salute that man, and to me, he's a king, but I feel like I'm a king too. I respect that. You know what I mean? But at the same time, only person I think could be a king to New York City, in my eyes, king-wise, is Jay-Z or Biggie. Because they started this. This is where we was birthed from. You know what I mean? We got Biggie as a legend and we got Jay-Z as a living legend. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna look at nobody as a king under them because I consider myself under them as that king queen. You know what I mean? But I'm not against nobody's putting that self-claim in. Do you bullshit? You know what I mean? If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But at the end of the day,
if you claim something, you got to live up to it, right?
Yeah, you got to. You know what I mean? But I'm not. First of all, I don't even get into that type of vibe because I know I'm king and queen. You know what I mean? I got literally people telling me that in my comments all day, every day. The queen of NY, the queen KWEN. It's me. It's tatted on me. It's certified. Ain't nothing changed about that. Whatever them guys decide to say, that's on them, man. Salute you, however you do it.
Was it? Do you looking at it? You know, to dig a little bit deeper into what Shy was saying. You know, New York rap was like really running shit. Not saying they're not running it now because thankfully for people like yourself, and then it kind of shifted to the West, and Snoop, Dre did Chronic, came back to the East, Puff, Dre, all these other guys like really started dominating in the East Coast. And then years later, you had this new generation that came up and they was really killing it, but then like the South kind of just like emerged, which was a lot of, you had people that was supporting. There was a theory that people in the South was supporting like new, young, up and coming rappers more than like New York and stuff like that. Did you ever find yourself in a position where you was like, yo, because one of the things when you mentioned about 50, and 50's my man, we talked about this shit a lot. Like one of the success stories with 50 is that he went against the entire machine. He ain't really have radio play. He ain't really do the whole label shit. He went the mixtape route and he connected with the people. Did you ever feel like, what was some of the challenges that what you made for yourself? Because I know what it's like for young up and coming rappers out of New York and the shit that what they have to deal with, unless you connected to a big artist, you know what I'm saying, or a big DJ on the radio. Like, was there like major challenges that you had to fuck with when you was coming up trying to make your name?
Nah, I came up from the streets.
Yeah, I was out here connecting with the people.
I was connected with the people. I'm outside. I was outside. Right. I was dropping freestyles after freestyle. I was getting my name heard. I was doing shows before I was even famous in the towns. You know what I'm saying? Like, I came from the bottom. It wasn't, I ain't had no cosigning me. And just me being just who I am as an artist, like just being gay, quote unquote, you know what I mean? Like this title thing, I don't really do the whole title thing, the whole situation, but just being that alone is difficult. You know what I mean? Coming up in this game ain't known for that. You know what I mean? I came in and solidified that without even having a jacket. I just wanted people to know me as an artist and know that I was dope. But this is something I love. This is something I wanted to do. I didn't give a fuck about my sexuality or my preference. I just spoke on whatever I went through, whatever I was going through, and I just said it. It wasn't me trying to exploit it and let everybody know in the world I'm the first this artist or first that artist. I ain't want no label on my name. I came in straight from the streets on, yo, I'm dope, and that's just what it is. I ain't have that, none of that. I came straight from the streets, grinded up. I went viral, used the internet to my advantage. The internet was one of the biggest platforms to use at that time back in 2013. I'm talking about before YouTube was even YouTube, before SoundCloud was even SoundCloud, I was on those platforms. You know what I'm saying? I ain't have Apple Music. I ain't have, nothing against it, but I ain't have that. I ain't have radio. I ain't have none of that. I was using whatever the internet platform had for free. I was putting out free mixtapes on SoundCloud, free mixtapes on YouTube, and that's how I was moving through these streets, doing little local clubs, little local shows, not getting paid for what I was doing. I just did it because I knew I had to get up. And when I got up, I took advantage of that, and I wound up having a hit record that pushed me across that line that I needed to go. And from there, I knew what I had to do.
And that's part of what I'm saying. Like when you mention, so everything, the takeaway, what I got from what you just said just now was, it's the DIY experience, like do it yourself. Like you just really got out there and you got on your grind. And, a couple of years ago, like a lot of the niggas who was really like popular in New York and shit like that, like that was like an A&R's job. You're doing an A&R's
Mhm.
job in addition to being a dope MC. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And that's the significance now, like with people like, you know, guys like yourself, like in this new generation, versus, and no disrespect, you know what I'm saying, to the forefathers and the stuff that what they've been doing before, but it's just crazy. You know, I was thinking about it like nobody put you onto that. You just did it on your own naturally.
Yeah, I studied it. I studied it since a kid. Like I was telling y'all, since I was 10 years old, I studied everything. And then when all these platforms came about, like YouTube, I knew music videos was gonna be something that would bring people attention to me. So that's why to this day, literally as I'm speaking to y'all, I would still put out a freestyle video. I use YouTube to my advantage. Every songs I do, I still put out videos to. I still believe in videos because that's something I did to market myself in my past. Something that people grew up on me on, and knowing that's something I did and something I went viral for. So like it's like, to me, nothing really changed but like maybe money and just my fame and the amount of people that support me. But how I maneuver and how I grind is literally the same way.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just now, you know, you got to maneuver a little more smarter because now you got a lot of eyes on you. So certain things you can't do. You got a lot of people in the public that's paying attention to you. So certain things you can't do. But as far as my grind and my hustle and how I do things, as far as like using YouTube and all these things for my advantage, still do the same thing. I
Right.
still put out videos for every song. I'm still doing it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I got over almost 3 million subscribers on YouTube. You know what I mean? My records is going gold and platinum. I'm still doing the same things. I still got my fan base is growing as the day comes. I got 6 million on Instagram. If you know what I mean, like people don't understand, like when a person falls off, you don't literally when 2016 when my record first blew up, I probably had like a little over 1 million followers. Probably like as soon as my record blew up, I probably hit 1 million followers. And as time went on, play that year, went into place, probably went into 2 million.
Right.
But we talking 3 years, almost 4 years later, I'm at 6 million, literally still going up. Obviously, I'm doing something right. I'm never, like, to me, I don't believe in going backwards. So I'm never going to go backwards. My views, everything, my subscribers, everything is going up. What happened?
I don't know what that was.
You still see me, boss?
I could definitely still see you.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see you, but some weird thing just burst on the
All right,
screen.
there we go. Y'all good? I
Yeah.
see all y'all now.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. That
Yeah, I don't know what
that
the fuck is
explosion.
happening.
Those are 6 million
Seen it, right?
followers.
Just popped up on the screen.
See, I've never seen that before. It was like Future's album popped up on the screen, right?
That's how true it was, right? The
6
throwback
million
joint, right? Yeah. But that's how true it is.
I had a question for you. I always wondered, and tell me if you're uncomfortable, but I always wondered, because you brought up your sexuality, do you feel that people tried to make you a spokeswoman because of your sexuality and not treat you like, I'm just a rapper, that's it, and then it became like you got boxed into certain areas because of it? And I mean, did you ever feel like that became something that people tried to put on you as a selling point, or you became responsible, not just an element of who you were? Because a lot of rappers don't talk about their sexuality, you know, like that just doesn't come up. With you, it became about that.
I definitely had to make it more so my control to make sure that situation didn't happen, because you do have those people that come and try to put that label on you and try to maneuver you into that box. But I always played it the right way. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, I know who I am. So it never was a point where I felt like, nah. I'm gonna speak on it, but I don't never want y'all to make it seem like that's all it is. You know what I mean? So I knew how to balance it and separate the two ways. Like, okay, I know this is something people gonna talk about, so I'm gonna talk about it. But at the same time, I'm gonna make sure y'all know that this is more forefront as me as an artist before this is me as labeled as such and such. You know what I mean? So I always knew how to separate the two, where I kind of brung both in at the same time, but knew how to make sure this was this and make sure this was that. And you do got that. You got certain industries and certain things that come in and want to speak on those type of things, and I have no problem with speaking on it, because I literally know it's people out there that's going through those type of things. But I also, when I do speak on it, I still let it be known, like, that ain't all it is. You know what I mean? You can't come out here expecting people to support you as in what you believe in, because everybody have their own beliefs, but everybody love music. So if you can keep people in that zone, everything else really don't really matter, because you just gonna be you at the end of the day. I don't give a fuck what somebody say about me. I'm me. And that's known. It's not like it's not known. It's obvious who I am. You know what I mean? So it's like nothing for me to have to keep constantly speaking on. I'm about the music. I enjoy the music. I go through problems like a regular person go through. I done been through some shit in my life like a normal person would if we speak in normal people. But at the end of the day, I never allowed that to overshadow me as an artist. So I always made sure I kept that at a certain level of balance where it didn't overshadow who I am as an artist. It's like Young M.A is Young M.A, and I got a lot of dope people, fellas, women that just love me for who I am, and not just because, oh, she a gay artist, and that's what they say. Not to me, but that's what they might say. The small amount of people, but majority of the people don't look at me like that. And that was my whole goal, is to make sure that even though I wasn't thinking of that coming into this game, I was just really being myself. But then you do get it to a point where it's like people going to start to put that criticism in, or that type of opinion in, and say, oh, this, that, and the third. And then you just got to separate. You know what I mean? It's not hard to separate. Just when you do these interviews and you do these public situations, you let them know, like I'm doing right now. Let them know, like, no, I'm an artist. This is what I do. And as long as you constantly put that in people's ear, then that becomes your main shadow. You know what I'm saying? And what could they say? I already said it.
Did you feel for Lil Nas X when he came out and all the talk there, and
he played it cool too.
Like he played it cool,
in a way. Yeah, he played it in a way where it didn't overshadow him neither.
No, it only enhanced.
Because he know, and then for a man, I ain't gonna lie, it is a little more difficult. You know what I mean? We all know that as people, it is. We all speak on it. It is a little more difficult for a man, and I understand that. You know what I'm saying? So I respect him for knowing how to play it. He know who he is. He don't got to prove that to nobody. He can have fun with it as much as he can. That's on you if you going to accept it or not. He going to make his music, though.
Right.
And that's, you know what I mean? And that's just what it is.
And it's 2020, whatever it is at this point.
Yeah, come on, bro. Everybody like that. If you feel away, that's just you as a man. That's your own insecurities, man. At the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, in the end of the day, none of that shit doesn't, a lot of that doesn't really matter, because it's like, as long as you comfortable with whatever it is or what you're doing,
you don't have to force it on nobody.
You don't have to explain that shit to nobody at all.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't have to force it.
Yeah, you're doing dope music, and I think that again, like, is really, like I have young kids. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they're growing up in like this environment where we have to explain things to them that was a little bit different for us, like back in the days. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I always point to inspirations for them and be like, yo, be like this person, be like that person, etc. And you got like a really strong build, obviously, like on top of your shoulders. You know what I'm saying? Because if you can create a dope craft and then be, whatever it is, how you feel you are moving out in this world and being like, yo, this is what I do.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what this shit really comes down to. It doesn't matter.
Right. I don't believe my job is to tell a kid to be like this or be like me.
Right.
That's not my job. My job is to do what I do as I do it in my way, and whatever you take from that, any inspiration you take from that, that's on you. I'm not out here trying to tell kids to be like me.
Right.
No. You know what I mean? Be yourself. That's always something I put in forefront. Be yourself. If this ain't you, don't be that.
Right.
But if you feel like anything I'm doing that inspire you in a way where you feel like you got a piece of that, then you take that and you move from there. But my job isn't to say be this way. No, I don't think that's nobody's job. It ain't got nothing to do with gay or straight. It's just any human being. You know what I mean? Like, nobody can be somebody else. Be yourself.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even.
Bigger than that.
Yeah, and I never would chalk it up to being like, gay or whatever. I'm like, this your lifestyle. Whatever it is that makes you
whatever you prefer.
Whatever, like whatever
this
makes.
This could be being a good kid. This could be being a bad kid.
Exactly.
Yeah, it don't have nothing to do with that.
Like we don't deal with labels and shit like that.
Absolutely.
And that's really just a label. We call blurred lines. You know what I'm saying? And shit like that. So
that's never know what a person going through, man. You never know what a person going through internally. It don't got nothing to do with that person. Could be literally going through something mentally, internally. It don't got nothing to do with the people on the outside layer. It could just be some people going through mentally, man. And that's something I dealt with as a kid. I mentally went through things, and I didn't do it off of what I seen. I do it off what I was thinking. You know what I mean? Like I came out who I am because of what I was going through as a kid. It wasn't nothing I seen in my household. It wasn't nothing I seen on TV. It wasn't nothing like that made me be this way. This was something I was dealing with internally. Something I had to come about with my family and speak on these type of things. So, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not here to inspire somebody to be like me. I'm here to just be myself and teach you to just be yourself. That's it.
I want to hear about some of the records on the EP. You know, some of these exclusives you could tell us about. You know.
Yeah. So all right. So we got 7 joints on there, as you can see. And on the EP, of course, I told you, it's just a vibe, man. It's just the heat of the moment. Something quick, something to feed the streets with. More savage on that, more savage, no filter on there. We had this time to reflect a lot during this whole quarantine thing. So it kind of brought me in a sense of just certain things I may have been dealing with for the past couple months and I may speak on in my own way. I'm not the type of person I don't go on social media speaking about anything I'm going through. I put it in the music, man. I have fun with it and I enjoy it. And it's more so like a relatable thing. Like a lot of things I say is more so just to relate. I give some people to relate to. I give people captions to put in their pictures. You know what I mean? Like this is the time we dealing with right now. We dealing with social media. We dealing with people. Everybody's on social media right now during this quarantine. Everybody's home. So I just feel like it was the perfect project to put out. And this is kind of the vibe, man. It's just something you can bump to from beginning to finish. And that's the vibes, man.
What producers did you work with?
More so in-house, all in-house. Shout out to Mike Zombie. You know, I got 5 joints with him. Me and him is like Kobe Bryant and rest in peace and Shaq. You know what I mean? We like Batman and Robin when it come to the music. I met him like 2 years ago, and since then we just been connected. Shout out to UW. UW is the producer that actually produced Ooh for me. That's now 4 times platinum. Hello. And and shout out to Benjamin. Benjamin is a new producer I just started working with this year. That I actually wound up using one of his tracks. He's actually kind of known. He's done a lot of production for a lot of artists too. I mean, everybody did too. Like Mike Zombie did Drake. He did with DJ Khaled, Jay-Z. Like we ain't gonna stop that resume. That guy is he needs a little more recognition than he get. Mike Zombie, man, they sleeping on that guy. That's why I wanted to give
Mike Zombie is ill.
Mike Zombie, yeah, son. Shout out to him from Jersey, from up top. You know what I mean? That's the homie right there.
Yeah.
UW, he did Casanova Don't Run record. He did a lot of New York joints. That's why he called NY Bangers. So he do a lot of production for NYC, and he produced my biggest record. So I always gonna salute him as the GOAT. And shout out to Benjamin, man. He produced one of my joints. It's called Angels versus Demons. That's actually one of my top favorites on the EP. That beat is freaking crazy. I had to use it. Shout out to him. I'm definitely gonna be doing more production with him. So,
what is that about, Angels versus Demons?
I mean, self-explanatory, man. Angels versus Demons, man. You have your good times, you have your down times, man. You have those days where you may be going through it. Even during, the fame moments, man. The fame could be good, but you have down times. Money isn't always everything. And I just want people to understand that, man. You still deal with personal shit. You still deal with streets. Definitely coming from the streets, you still deal with certain things. And you deal with mental health. Like I deal with that. I deal with anxiety and depression. A lot of people that may not know that, it's not always, glitter and gold. It's a lot, and that's just one of those records where I kind of speak on that. And I get a little melodic on that record too. I actually did the hook myself, and it's like bringing an old M.A. out, man. When you hear it, you're gonna understand it.
Being in the house for so long, it's caused some people definitely to have some type of anxiety and all of that. How you been dealing with it in this whole COVID situation?
Yeah, I suffer from that. It runs in my family. My mom, my grandmother. I done witnessed times with my mom going through anxiety, like literally having a panic attack in front of me since I was a kid. Like I literally experienced that. It was a little traumatizing growing up, seeing my mom go through that, and it kind of caught up to me. It's like a family thing that started from like my past generation, my grandmother, great grandmother, into my mom's, and now it hit me. And definitely being in the music industry where you so used to moving around, maneuvering, doing shows and all that you come to a complete standstill, it can affect you. You know what I mean? But I'm like, I'm one of the type of people I believe in self-healing. I don't believe in like anybody else that can just make me better. You know what I mean? Like I believe in having my alone time, my me time, and literally doing meditation and reflecting, working out, and just getting healthy where I kind of, you know, mess with the physical and the mental at the same time. And I know music was always my outlet to express myself. So I always use that to be able to speak my mind. You know what I mean? So during this whole quarantine, I just to have the time to be able to have to myself, I was able to focus and have tunnel vision on making music, you know, working out, treating it like I'm in a jail cell in a way, like literally lifting weights on the treadmill. I've always been like a healthy person. I always drink a lot of water. Like I don't drink sodas. I don't drink juice. I don't do a lot of sweets and snacks and stuff. Like that ain't really my style. So like during this quarantine, I didn't really gain no weight. You know what I mean? Like I literally lost weight because I knew it was my time to really be like, yo, I'm not gonna let this overshadow anything. Like I know it's a down moment. It's the time to reflect. I'm gonna take advantage of this, and that's exactly what I did.
You like a health guru, and it's so bugged out because you mentioned. I was gonna ask you when you was talking about some of the stuff. I was gonna say, do you meditate?
Yeah, I do.
How is that for you? How's that process for you?
I've been meditating since 2012. So for the past 8 years,
Wow.
I knew how to meditate. And the only reason I even know about meditation is because my mom used to do it when I was a kid. She used to have the tapes. Back then, it wasn't no YouTube or stuff like that. Back then, you had to literally buy the actual meditation booklet offline and have it mailed to you. My mom had like tapes and booklets and stuff where she would literally meditate in the house. So those things I seen, I didn't, at the time as a kid, I didn't understand it. I used to just see her do it. But as I got older, you know, it grew on me. And at certain things, I know that it actually helps. Like I even have like candles in my crib and like rocks and stuff like that, where it kind of like, I believe in like that spiritual vibe.
Yep.
Like, yeah, I believe in that stuff. You know what I mean? Just energy, just certain energies in the air. I believe in that. And I definitely use that to my advantage. And I meditate as much as I can, not every single day, but whenever I feel like I'm overwhelmed, I'll meditate for like a good 20 minutes.
Is that how you keep like your environment?
I keep
Like
saying,
your
that's how you keep
space
saying.
when you record and stuff?
Yeah, that's what I keep saying. That's how I keep saying it. I feel like if I don't meditate, I'll be a little more angry. You know what I mean? I'll take a lot of energy out on people that's close to me for no reason because of something I'm maybe going through. So I'll eliminate myself from people when I feel like I'm overwhelmed and literally box myself in and just trying to like get that off me. And then I'll come around people. Like people that know me close, they know I would literally just vanish out of nowhere. People won't hear from me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Only because I don't want to put that energy on nobody. Everybody goes through something. That's not my job to give anybody my problems. I don't really speak on my problems to people, unless it's just like something we can relate on. You know what I mean? We just having a conversation. But to me, I just don't go to people speaking on my problems. I don't believe in like a therapist, and I done had that. Like I done had therapy. I done had all that. It just never worked for me. Music was always my outlet. Somebody could speak on meditation. Like I said, I believe in self-healing. It's something I've done for the past few years for myself. And that's just how I maneuver. I lost my brother I was 17. My brother died when he was 20. You know what I mean? That's like a traumatizing moment, something I've dealt with for these past 10 years, man. You know what I mean? Just losing somebody I was always close to, my best friend. You know what I mean? Somebody I always spoke to, me and him one-on-one about anything, and just losing that, you know what I mean, put you in a lonely, you know, spirit. And then to become famous and know you don't have that person by your side, it's traumatizing, you know what I mean? Something you gotta deal with, but I know I gotta deal with it. I'm tough. Like I don't believe in like being vulnerable and being soft for nobody. I gotta deal with it. I gotta make sure my mom is good and all that.
No, that's huge that, you know, the fact that you dealt with something, you know, so major like that. Like losing a sibling, losing a parent is like two of the biggest things that what we go through in life.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And I've been there too. I lost my brother too. You know what I'm saying? Like 2 years ago.
Wow, wow.
So I can understand, and you know, I lost my pops 2 years before that. It's like that's just a void that it's just never really filled.
Never feel right.
And us as Black people in the community, they always be like, "Oh, we take shit out in different type of ways. Like we don't go to therapy and stuff like that, or we don't do shit like what you're talking about, like meditate." which is important. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
it's even more important to have people like yourself because you're a leader, whether you know it or
To
not.
be able to
You a leader.
express, right.
So when you go out and you start talking about shit like this, which there's a whole generation, all these kids who's dealing with all this stuff like this, and especially like right now, and you sending that message like, yo, I meditate. That's a really big fucking statement. You know what I'm saying? So definitely commend you for going out and you know, and putting that shit out there. That's a real big deal. That shit
Absolutely,
that what
man.
people need, we need to hear inspiring thoughts right now.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? We get angry. Don't get me wrong. A lot of people take they anger out in different ways where they go out in these streets and do something that they can't take back. You know what I mean? And I done been in those positions where I could have found myself in a position where I couldn't take it back. But I was fortunate enough to be able to be more wise and kind of shift my ways into not being that person and literally getting into something that I know that's going to benefit me in the future and teach me, you know, the rights from wrongs, and be able to put other people in that position and take them out of the position that we all was once in, so we don't have to go that route. And you know what I mean? It's something I tell my bros and everybody, like, bro, like we ain't on that time. It's about getting money and being successful. You know what I mean? We don't need that because all that, it ain't gonna lead us nowhere. Right. Unfortunately, it's not. You know what I mean? And that's my job.
I wanted to add, you know, 2020 has been a relatively rough year for everybody, but you know, in New York hip hop, we lost, you know, two greats. We lost Pop, we lost Frederick Godson. I wanted just to get your reflections on both of those guys and what they meant to, you know, the culture, especially here in New York.
Yeah, man. When Pop died, man, it was really like shocking out of nowhere. I really didn't expect that because we was looking so forward to him just for the city in itself. You know what I mean? He had that new sound. I done had conversations with him. I done had his number. We done talked. We were supposed to do something together, you know what I mean? And when that happened, I ain't gonna lie, that hurt me. Like it was like one of my brothers, you know what I mean? Just being from the city in itself and knowing what he was about to do. And just speaking to him and where his head was at when I was speaking to him, he wasn't on that type of time. And to know that he was the same age as my brother when he got killed, it just brought me in a different zone, you know what I mean? And it's just unfortunate, man, how it happened. It's just fucked up at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like we needed that right now. Like this was love. This was what we needed. Like, and it was just traumatizing how it just got taken away from us like this. Unfortunately, over I don't even know why. You know what I mean? Like nobody really knows why. It's just stupid. And I don't know, man. That ruffled me up a little bit. I ain't even gonna lie, man. That whole Pop situation ruffled me up, man. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, even Kobe's situation, like a lot of things was just like weird. It didn't sit right. You know what I mean? It didn't sit right. And you know, I'm from Brooklyn, so that hurt the city a lot.
With the Pop joint, you know, because you know he was definitely somebody we was really cool with too, and like you said, we you know, it's just a really tragic situation. We done seen like the shit that happened with Big and Pac and a number of other individuals then, but the Pop Smoke shit like really felt different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was really wild. Does that make you did that make you reevaluate like anything to how you move around and you know like what you rap about, shit like that, and just everything in general?
It definitely puts you in that zone of you know, you evaluate everything. I've always been that person though. You know what I mean? My bros know. Whenever we somewhere, we don't show what we doing. We don't post it at that time. We pay attention to the people around us that's not always around us. It's something I always did. That's why you don't see me in situations that M.A ain't supposed to be in, because we on point as a team. You know what I mean? I let that be known off jump, because at the end of the day, you can have the most best spirits. You can be in the most best of spirits and think everything is good, but you don't know what others is thinking around you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you can think you on point just by you just observing everything, but you don't know what others is thinking just off the exterior display. You know what I mean? So
That's
me,
word.
I'm the type of person I evaluate everybody. Everybody. I don't care if you this close to me. I don't care who you are. You can be family. It don't matter. I'm gonna observe you. I don't trust nothing. That's just in my spirit. My brother got killed from somebody that was close, that was next to him a lot of times. You know what I mean? So that played a lot of me on how I maneuver in this game and everything, because a lot of things is like target wise because you're so successful, and a lot of people may have just a hate towards you just from your success. You know what I mean? They don't even have to know you personally. Somebody can just not like you, man, for no reason.
Right.
You know, and if you accidentally slip up, that could be it. You know, so there's no time for slip ups. I don't got time for that. I'm on point at all times. I don't wear my jewelry everywhere. As you can see, I don't even got no jewelry on. I actually dropped my jewelry off at the jeweler, get my shit touched up. But I maneuver in a way where I don't have to be flashy. And when I am flashy, I make sure I got the right people around me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? At the same time, it ain't gonna be no bullshit around me. If I'm gonna maneuver like this, I'm gonna make sure this, that, and the third. All right, boom, we cool. We here, let's go. And that's it. I don't play them type of games. I don't have to be on Front Street. That's just not my character. I can be on Front Street for a little moment, and then I go back in my cocoon. That's just what it is. But I know as an artist, I have to play Front Street at times because I'm an entertainer. But if I don't have to, I won't do it. I don't have to.
Get in the
Do you feel like you sacrifice some of like the actual person that you are just to be in the game?
Yeah, man, it's a sacrifice.
Good question.
It's a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice. It's a scary thing. You know what I mean? Definitely, it's scary. You know, it's scary. You got a lot of people that hate you. You know, you do. Even you may not even never seen them before. You might not know. That's what's scary, is that you never even know who. So it's a sacrifice. It is. You know, that's why you have to maneuver the right way. And people do know that, but sometimes people, you know, slip up, man, unfortunately. Right. You know, and that's just what it is. And I hate it, but you know, it happens, man. It happens to the best of us sometimes, man. I don't really like, God forbid, that I don't like speaking on that because I'm more positive into it, you know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, just for those that don't.
Tell me, so we've had you for a while, and I know you're gonna have to go. Tell us a little bit about what you got going on besides the EP and what you do like speaking on, so we end on a good note, and I know you feel good about.
Yeah, I'm happy we was able to speak on that. So people that is watching, I pray they get something from this and understand this and know.
I mean, yeah, we're all going through things, right?
Especially yeah.
We all handle them differently, and
right.
Whether it be therapy or our own, I mean, you know, self-medicating, which isn't always the greatest thing, but we all try to figure out our vices and our things that help us get through, right? And some are healthier than others.
Absolutely. But yeah, just going into, you know, ending everything. Definitely working into the album. On this EP is no features. Like I said, it was spontaneous. It was something to give to my supporters. Y'all know me. I don't do features all the time anyway. So when I do drop something, it's no surprise. I never wanted to be that artist that had to rely on features. So anything I did, I wanted to make sure I push me out there first. And when I do decide features, then it makes sense. You know what I mean? So going into the album, I definitely will have more features. I'm praying to get the album out, you know, hopefully during all this stuff that's going on, pandemic, that we'll be able to have an album out by fall. So for this EP, this is like the push for the summer. And I'm just excited about that, just putting out more music, getting into other things like acting. I executive produce. I got 2 artists under me as well that's doing anything. And just, you know, just staying in my lane and getting into other things outside of music, and just, you know, continuing to make money, man, and profit, and just be that entrepreneur and that businesswoman I can be.
That
man.
Queen, right?
That's right. You already know. King and Queen. Hello.
That Queen with a K.
Yes, man.
But thank you so much for coming on and talking to us. I don't know. I think you're great. I think that was a great conversation. We never got to go snowboarding, but we will. I don't know, next winter. Maybe Corona's over.
Oh, we doing it. Hello.
We
doing it.
Yeah, she said she was going to hit me. You never hit me.
I know.
You said you never hit him.
I'm going to hit you. We're going to do it. And we'll do something else because it's summer. We
got to do it now. See, look, we don't know what's about to hit the world now. So we got to do everything we say we're going to do.
I know. We're going on the trapeze. We're doing parachuting. You pick it. I'm ready to go. Let's go.
All right, let's go.
Text my phone. You have my number.
Thank you, Vanessa.
Definitely.
I appreciate y'all, XXL. Appreciate the love, man.
Thank you.
Always. All
right, much love.
Love.
Thanks, guys.
All right.